Let's be real. A dead bedroom is one of the hardest things a man can face. You live under the same roof, sleep in the same bed, but intimacy feels like it's vanished. She doesn't touch you the way she used to. She doesn't look at you with the same fire, and inside you're thinking, what changed? You've tried being nice, you've tried being patient, maybe you even tried to talk it out. But the more you give, the more you chase, the colder it gets, and that silence, it eats at you. It makes you question everything. Am I not enough? Am I losing her? Is this the beginning of the end? Here's the problem. Society keeps telling men the same thing. Make her feel special, buy her gifts, prove your love, keep giving more. But let me ask you, if giving more actually worked, why do so many men who give everything still end up in passionless relationships? Why do they still end up begging for scraps of affection? Why does desire disappear even when they do everything right? Because attraction doesn't grow from chasing. It grows from space, from energy, from you having a life that pulls her in, not a life that circles around her. And here's where men get trapped. They stop being the man with purpose, and they start being the man who waits for approval. That kills desire. That kills intimacy. So here's the truth. Most men don't want to hear, you're not going to rebuild passion by working harder for her. You're not going to fix a dead bedroom by convincing her. You fix it by fixing yourself, by shifting your focus back onto your own purpose, your health, your discipline, your calm energy. That's what creates polarity again. That's what creates the spark that makes her want to lean back in. And if you're sitting there right now wondering, can this really work? Can I really rebuild what feels broken? The answer is yes. But here's the catch. It's not about tricks. It's not about manipulation. It's not about faking confidence. It's about becoming the man who naturally attracts again. And if that spark can't be rebuilt, then you'll have the strength to walk away clean, without guilt, without resentment, and without carrying the weight of failure. So pay attention, because by the end of this video, you'll know the rules. The rules that rebuild desire or give you the clarity to leave with peace. Either way, you win. Let me hit you with a question that might sting. When was the last time she actually admired you? Not just liked you, not just tolerated you, but looked at you like you were someone she could respect, even crave. Think about it, because here's the uncomfortable truth. Intimacy doesn't vanish overnight. It slowly dies the moment respect fades. Now let me ask you this. Have you noticed how arguments keep repeating? How she pushes back on small things that never used to matter? How her tone changes, her patience shrinks, and no matter what you do, it feels like you're always wrong. Why does that happen? Why does it feel like the more you try to keep peace, the more you're treated with irritation? Here's the loop that traps men. You keep giving in just to avoid conflict. You silence yourself to keep things smooth. You let small disrespect slide because you're afraid of rocking the boat, and over time, what happens? You shrink. She no longer sees a man who can lead. She sees a man who can be bent. And once respect cracks, desire is the first casualty. But here's the deeper layer nobody talks about. Women don't just crave love, they crave certainty. They want to feel like the man they're with can be unshaken by chaos, that no matter what storm hits, he doesn't crumble, doesn't beg, doesn't lose himself. And if you can't give her that certainty, the relationship shifts. She becomes cold, distant, and maybe even resentful, because deep down she doesn't feel safe to lean on you. So the real problem isn't that she lost interest. The real problem is that you stopped holding your line. You stopped drawing boundaries. You stopped being the man who could say, no, that's not acceptable, without raising your voice, without losing control, without needing her approval. And here's the solution most men overlook. Attraction is not maintained by comfort, it's maintained by tension. Not the negative kind, but the healthy kind. The kind where she knows you can stand on your own 2 feet, that you won't bend just to be liked, and that your respect for yourself sets the tone of the relationship. So let me make it plain. If you want to rebuild attraction, start here. 1. Check your boundaries. Where have you been silent when you should have spoken? Where have you tolerated disrespect just to keep her happy? 2. Rebuild your standards. Decide what you accept and what you don't. Then stand by it calmly, consistently. 3. Project certainty. Not by forcing it, not by acting tough, but by living with a clear purpose outside the relationship so you don't need to cling to her approval. When you embody this, something shifts. Suddenly, she looks at you differently. The pushback softens, the distance shrinks, and even if the fire doesn't return instantly, the respect does, and respect is the soil where passion grows back. So here's the question you need to face right now. Are you living as a man who demands respect by how he carries himself, or as a man who hopes for respect by avoiding conflict? Because only one of those paths leads to real attraction. Let me ask you something direct. Why do men lose themselves the moment they fall in love? Why do so many guys start strong, full of energy, ambition, purpose, and then slowly melt into the background once the relationship becomes serious? Think about it. Have you noticed how at the start you had your own life, your own drive, your own fire, and that's exactly what made her attracted, but as time passed, you began centering everything around her. Your plans started revolving around her schedule, your hobbies, your gym time, your focus, all of it shrank, and without even realizing, you turned her into your world. Now here's the hard truth. The moment she becomes your entire purpose, you stop being attractive to her, because women don't want to be your world. They want to join a world you've already built. But here's the problem most men can't see. When you give up your life for love, you think you're being loyal. You think you're being devoted, but in reality, you're stripping away the very thing that created the attraction in the first place. And then you wonder, why does she seem bored? Why does she no longer light up around me? Why does she give more energy to her friends, her phone, even her work than to me? Ask yourself, are you living with purpose, or are you living just to please her? Are you chasing her attention while neglecting your own mission? Are you sacrificing your growth just to keep the peace at home? Here's the key. Women are drawn to men who are already moving somewhere, who have a direction, a goal, a calling, because that's what creates polarity. She doesn't want to lead you. She doesn't want to mother you. She doesn't want to be the captain while you sit waiting for orders. She wants to feel like she's with a man who knows where he's going. And let me be crystal clear, this isn't about being selfish. This isn't about ignoring her or pretending you don't care. It's about building a life so rich, so meaningful, that when she's with you, she feels like she's stepping into something bigger. That's what sparks admiration. That's what fuels desire. That's what makes her chase your presence instead of withdrawing from it. If you're in a dead bedroom right now, this might be the missing piece, because intimacy doesn't vanish just because of routine. It vanishes because she no longer feels magnetized by your direction. A man without purpose feels empty, and emptiness never attracts, it only drains. So here's the solution. Stop making her your why. Instead, rediscover your own why. Ask yourself, what was I building before I got comfortable? What dream did I put on the shelf? What fire did I let burn out because I thought love would be enough? Then go after that again. Build your body, build your craft, build your business, build your legacy. Because once you do, she feels it, she sees it, she notices the shift in how you walk, how you talk, how you carry yourself, and suddenly, she's not just your partner, she's competing for a spot in the life of a man who is already in motion. That's the paradox of attraction. The less you make her your world, the more she wants to be part of yours. Here's a question most men never ask themselves. Why is it that the more available you become, the less she seems to value you. And why is it that when you're scarce, when your presence is limited, suddenly she pays attention? Think back to your own life. Doesn't everything rare feel more valuable? Gold is valuable because it's scarce. Time feels precious because it's limited. Even your favorite food tastes better when you haven't had it in weeks. But when it's on the table every single day, it starts to lose its flavor. Now here's the problem. Men forget this law when it comes to relationships. You think love means constant presence. You think desire means being there every hour. You think closeness means never letting her feel your absence. But here's the truth. The more she has of you, the less she feels the need to crave you. Let me ask you this. Are you always one text away? Are you always dropping plans the second she calls? Are you filling every gap of silence with effort, thinking it will keep her interested? And if you're honest, does that effort actually create attraction, or does it drain it? See, women aren't drawn to men who are always available. They're drawn to men who have a full life, who can't always answer right away, who are busy building, creating, living, not because he's playing games, but because his time is genuinely valuable. And here's the painful truth. If she feels like she has all of you, every moment, every hour, there's no mystery left, no chase, no spark. And without that spark, desire fades. Not because she doesn't love you, but because love without desire feels like friendship. And deep down, you already know she doesn't want to feel like your roommate. So what's the solution? It's not manipulation. It's not pretending to be busy. It's actually living a life that keeps you busy. It's having passions outside of her. Friends, hobbies, fitness, mission. When you fill your life with things that matter, she feels the scarcity of your time, and scarcity creates value. Think about it like this. If she knows you'll always be there no matter what, where's the urgency to treat you well? But if she feels your presence as something rare, something she could lose, she values it, she respects it, she cherishes it. And let me be clear, this isn't about neglect. It's about balance. When you create space, you give her room to feel desire again. When you step back into your own life, you give her the chance to miss you. And missing you is the spark of attraction. So ask yourself right now, are you a man who is flooding her with endless presence, or a man whose presence carries weight because it's not given away cheaply? Do you make her feel your value, or do you give yourself away so easily that she forgets it? Because here's the reality. Desire is built in absence, not in constant presence. And when she starts to feel that, everything changes. She looks at you differently. She starts wondering what you're doing, where you are, what's on your mind. And that curiosity, that craving, is what brings life back into a dead bedroom. So the rule is simple. Don't fear absence. Don't fear space. Don't fear moments of distance. They are not the death of love. They are the oxygen that keeps attraction alive. Let me ask you something. Why do most men lose attraction in their relationships without even realizing it? It's not because they're unattractive. It's not because they don't provide. It's not even because they don't love deeply. It's because they lose control of their emotions. Think about it. How many times have you reacted out of fear when she pulled away? How many times have you exploded in anger when she went cold? How many times have you begged, pleaded, over-explained, or tried to force connection only to feel her drift further? Here's the truth. Every time you lose control of your emotions, you lose power in the relationship, and women feel it instantly. Now let me paint the picture. She's testing you. She's cold, she's distant, she says something sharp. Do you snap? Do you argue? Do you try to fix it right away? Or do you stay calm, grounded, collected like a rock in a storm? Because here's the secret. Women don't lose attraction because of your mistakes. They lose attraction because of your instability. They don't want a man who is perfect. They want a man who can hold his ground when things get messy. Ask yourself, when she sees you angry, panicked, chasing, or trying to control everything, Does she feel safe with you? Does she see you as strong? Or does she start to feel like she's leading the emotional frame of the relationship? See, emotional mastery isn't about being cold. It's not about shutting down. It's not about hiding how you feel. It's about being able to feel emotions fully, but not letting them control your actions. That's strength. That's what makes a man magnetic. Because here's what happens when you stay calm. She leans in. She trusts you. She feels safe around you. And safety is the soil where desire grows. Without it, she cannot relax into her feminine energy. Without it, she cannot crave you. And let's be blunt, most men lose their power because they hand it over every time they react. Every outburst, every chase, every breakdown, it tells her, my emotions control me. I can't control myself. And once she sees that, attraction drains. Now flip it. Imagine she pulls away, and instead of panicking, you smile. Imagine she's moody, and instead of arguing, you stay calm, focused, patient. Imagine she tries to push your buttons, and instead of exploding, you shrug it off and go back to your life. That man radiates power. Why? Because he's unshaken. He's not controlled by outside forces. He's not a slave to his feelings. He's the master of himself. And here's the irony. When you stop reacting, you actually create the emotional tension that makes her chase you. Because she starts asking, why isn't he shaken? Why isn't he begging? Why is he calm? And that curiosity turns into attraction. So here's the challenge for you. Can you be the man who holds the frame when things get tough? Can you be the man who doesn't crumble when tested? Can you be the man who responds instead of reacts? Because the truth is this, desire isn't built when everything is smooth. It's built in how you handle the storms, and if you want to rebuild attraction in a dead bedroom, or even decide to leave with dignity, it starts here with emotional mastery. Let's get brutally honest for a moment. Why do so many men try to fake confidence, and why does it never work? You've seen it. The guy who brags about his money, the guy who flexes his car, the guy who pretends to be the loudest in the room, always showing off. For a moment, maybe it looks like confidence, but women sense the cracks instantly. They know when it's an act. They can feel when it's hollow. So here's the question. What really builds unshakable confidence? What makes a man walk into a room and command respect without even speaking? What makes a woman look at him and feel pulled in, not because of what he shows, but because of what he is? Here's the hard truth. Confidence that depends on outside validation is fragile. If your self-worth is tied to her attention, her approval, or even society's applause, you're on quicksand. The moment she pulls away, you collapse. The moment you lose status, you shrink. That's not real confidence. That's dependency. So ask yourself, how do you react when she ignores your text? Do you panic and wonder, what's wrong with me? Do you start trying harder, proving yourself, sending longer messages just to win back a little attention? If so, that's not confidence. That's fear dressed as desire. Now imagine the opposite. A man who doesn't need her attention to feel whole. A man who doesn't need likes, followers, or approval to feel strong. A man who knows his worth because he has proven it to himself through discipline, through skill, through character. That man doesn't chase validation, he radiates it. That's the difference between fake confidence and real confidence. Fake confidence collapses when tested. Real confidence grows stronger under pressure. Fake confidence is about appearance. Real confidence is about competence, and competence is everything. Can you handle your business? Can you protect yourself and the people you love? Can you control your impulses? Can you build, create, and endure? That's where confidence comes from. Not from pretending, not from showing off, but from knowing you can actually deliver. Women can smell this difference instantly. She knows when your confidence is built on a fragile mask. She knows when your identity depends on her approval. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who hides insecurity under a fake smile. But when she feels that your confidence is rooted in competence, she relaxes, she trusts you, she knows you don't just talk, you can back it up. And this is where attraction goes deeper than surface-level chemistry. This is where she feels drawn to you, even if she doesn't fully understand why. Think about it. Why does a man with quiet confidence feel magnetic? Because he doesn't need to perform. He doesn't need to explain. His energy says everything. I know who I am. I know what I bring. I don't need you to complete me. And here's where most men miss it. They think confidence means never showing weakness. Wrong. Confidence means not being ruled by weakness. It means being aware of your flaws but not letting them define you. It means saying, yes, I have fears. Yes, I make mistakes, but I'm still moving forward. That's real strength. Ask yourself right now, are you living in fake confidence or real confidence? Do you need her response to feel valuable? Do you measure yourself by her attention? Or can you stand alone, proud of who you are, with or without her? Because let me tell you, when you stop chasing external approval and start living with self-approval, you become untouchable. Her silence won't shake you, her distance won't scare you, her tests won't break you, because you're already whole. And that's the key. Confidence isn't about proving anything, it's about no longer needing to. Here's a tough question. What's more dangerous than losing a woman? Losing yourself because you made her your entire life. This is where so many men fail. They confuse love with obsession. They think devotion means making her their whole mission. They give up their hobbies. They stop chasing their goals. They cancel their plans. Slowly, piece by piece, they shrink until nothing is left but her. And then when she feels the weight of being his only source of meaning, she pulls away. Why? Because no woman wants to carry that burden. So let me ask you, have you ever noticed how a woman seems more attracted when you're busy, when you're chasing something bigger, when your life is moving forward with or without her? Why is that? Why do women lean in when you're focused on your path but drift away when you drop everything for them? The answer is simple. A woman doesn't want to be your mission. She wants to join a man who already has one. Think about it. Would you respect a leader who has no direction? Would you follow a man who spends his days waiting for others to tell him what to do? Of course not. Leadership, attraction, respect, they all flow from a clear sense of purpose. And this is where relationships die in silence. A man loses his fire, he stops building, he stops dreaming, he starts orbiting around her, thinking, if I just give enough, if I just show her she's my everything, she'll love me forever. But instead of pulling her closer, it pushes her away. Because without purpose, a man becomes predictable. Without drive, he becomes dull. Without vision, he becomes replaceable. Ask yourself right now, what do you wake up for? Is it her? Or is it something bigger that she gets to witness, admire and support? Because if your only reason for living is her, you've already lost her. Here's the paradox. When you stop making her the center, that's when she wants to be closer. When you stop sacrificing your goals for her attention, that's when she respects you. When you stand firm in your path, that's when she desires you. Why? Because purpose is magnetic. It shows discipline. It shows strength. It shows you can carry weight, not just emotionally, but in life. And that creates a gravitational pull she can't resist. Now don't get this twisted. I'm not saying ignore her. I'm not saying be cold. I'm saying make sure she's joining a story that already exists. Because if you don't have your own story, she'll write you out of hers. This is why detachment is so powerful here. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't abandon your mission just to keep someone comfortable. It means you stay grounded in your path, no matter who walks beside you. That kind of presence gives a woman something real to respect. Because here's the truth, without purpose, you become needy, and neediness kills desire. With purpose, you become rare, and rarity builds desire. So let me ask you, are you living as a man on a mission, or as a man on standby waiting for approval? Are you building a life that excites you, or are you slowly suffocating in hers? Because here's the ultimate rule: if you want to rebuild desire, you don't start with her. You start with you, with your mission, with your drive, with the fire that no one else can give you and no one else can take away. That's what makes you untouchable. That's what makes you attractive long term. And that's what makes her look at you and think, I don't want to lose this man. Let me ask you something powerful. What happens when someone already knows everything about you? When every move you make is predictable, when every thought, every feeling, every action is laid out on the table? The answer is simple: they stop being curious. And when curiosity dies, attraction dies with it. Here's the problem. Most men think being transparent means telling her everything. Always explaining, always proving, always showing their cards. But what does that do? It takes away the mystery. It removes the unknown, and the unknown is what keeps her interested. So ask yourself, why do women binge watch shows with cliffhangers? Why do they obsess over books they can't put down? Why do they stay up late scrolling, hungry for the next piece of drama, the next twist, the next reveal? It's because the unknown pulls them in. It activates their imagination. It keeps them guessing. It keeps them hooked. Now let's flip that back to relationships. If you are always available, always texting back instantly, always saying yes, always explaining your every thought, where's the curiosity? Where's the mystery? Where's the sense that there's more to discover? Isn't it true that when she already knows she can get you anytime, she doesn't feel urgency to reach for you? Isn't it true that when you explain yourself too much, it makes you look insecure instead of confident? Isn't it true that when you never hold back, she has no reason to chase because she already has it all? This is the silent killer most men never see: overexposure. When you give too much of yourself too fast, you rob her of the journey, you rob her of the thrill, you rob her of the effort. But here's the paradox: when you hold back just a little, when you let her wonder, when you stay grounded in mystery, she begins to lean in. Why? Because curiosity is addictive, uncertainty is magnetic, mystery is power. Think about it. Why do women often dream about the man who seems hard to figure out? Why do they fantasize about the one who doesn't give everything away? Why do they crave the chase of trying to unlock him? It's because their emotions feed off uncertainty. Their attraction thrives on imagination. So here's the big truth. Predictability kills desire. Mystery multiplies it, and I want you to reflect right now. Do you reveal too much too soon, thinking it will make her feel closer? Do you constantly explain yourself, hoping it will remove doubt? Do you give unlimited access to your time, thinking it will prove your devotion? Do you always answer her immediately, thinking it shows loyalty? If so, you're not building connection, you're suffocating it. See, a high-value man understands that being an open book doesn't mean giving away every page on the first day. It means letting her earn access to your depth, one chapter at a time. It means keeping parts of yourself sacred. It means living a life so rich that she has to invest effort to discover more. That's what creates longevity. That's what keeps her mind busy with you when you're not around. That's what makes her replay conversations, analyze your words, and crave the next moment with you. Because attraction isn't built in what you give away, it's built in what you withhold. So let me ask you, are you leaving her room to wonder? Are you leaving her moments to miss you? Are you living with enough depth that she has to keep reaching for more? Or are you handing everything over, hoping it will keep her close? Because the truth is this: the less she has to work for, the less she values it. The more she has to uncover, the more she treasures it. And if you want her to desire you not just today but years from now, you must master the art of mystery. Not games, not manipulation, but true mystery, the kind that comes from depth, self-control, and never being fully predictable. That's what separates the ordinary from the unforgettable. That's what makes a man magnetic. Here's a question that might sting. Have you ever noticed how quickly attraction fades the moment a man loses control of his emotions? One burst of jealousy, one angry outburst, one insecure meltdown. Suddenly, everything changes. Think about it. Why do men who get too emotional push women away? Why does overreacting destroy respect faster than anything else? Why does showing weakness in the wrong way kill desire? Because here's the truth. Women don't just look at what you say, they feel how you handle pressure. Now let's break down the problem. Too many men think love means being vulnerable at all times, dumping every fear, every worry, every insecurity onto her shoulders. They think closeness means emotional dependency. But is that attraction, or is that burden? Ask yourself this. Have you ever texted her in panic when she didn't reply right away? Have you ever raised your voice because she didn't give you the attention you wanted? Have you ever broken down emotionally in a way that made her feel like she had to become your parent instead of your partner? Be honest, because this is the silent trap most men fall into. See, women want connection, yes, but what they crave even more is security, stability, strength. A man who can be calm in chaos, a man who doesn't break when things get tough. A man who doesn't need constant reassurance to feel whole. That's why when a man loses emotional control, she instantly feels unsafe with him. Not physically unsafe, but emotionally unsafe. She feels like she cannot trust his strength. She cannot relax into him. And when that happens, attraction dies. But let me flip the script. What happens when you master your emotions? What happens when you stay calm even when she tests you, even when she pulls away, even when life throws fire at you? She starts to lean in. She feels trust. She feels grounded. She feels magnetized by your composure. Because women are emotional by nature, they ride waves of feeling every single day, but they don't want to be drowned in more chaos from you. They want your presence to feel like an anchor, a place where storms calm, a place where they can breathe. So let me ask, are you her anchor or are you another storm? Think carefully. Do you spiral when she pulls away? Do you over-explain when she questions you? Do you get defensive when she criticizes you? Do you let anger, fear, or jealousy control your actions? If yes, then you're not showing strength, you're showing instability. And here's the paradox. The less you control yourself, the more she controls you. She doesn't even have to try. Every reaction gives her power. Every outburst lowers your value. Every meltdown pushes her further away. But when you master emotional control, everything changes. She can test you and you stay calm. She can doubt you and you remain unshaken. She can try to pull away and you don't chase. You stay centered. That's when she feels something she can't explain, respect. And respect is the foundation of attraction. Without it, no love can survive. With it, even distance, challenges, and time cannot break the bond. So here's the ultimate truth. Being a high-value man isn't about showing no emotion. It's about controlling emotion. It's about knowing when to share and when to hold, when to be vulnerable and when to stand firm, when to express and when to stay silent. Because real strength isn't about lifting weights, it's about lifting yourself above emotional chaos, and the man who can do that, he becomes rare, he becomes trusted, he becomes desired. So ask yourself now, are you the man who reacts or the man who responds? Are you the storm or the anchor? Because she will always be drawn to the anchor, always. Here's the truth nobody told you. Desire isn't rebuilt by tricks, lines, or begging for attention. Desire is rebuilt when you rebuild yourself. Think about it. When did she first notice you? Was it when you were chasing her endlessly, or was it when you were living fully focused and moving with purpose? See, attraction isn't about being available 24/7. It isn't about constant reassurance or proving your worth with gifts, compliments, or sacrifices. That kind of man becomes predictable, boring, and replaceable. And women don't chase predictable, they chase rare. So let me ask, what makes a man rare? Is it money? No, because plenty of men have it. Is it looks? No, because looks fade. Is it charm? No, because charm without substance is hollow. What makes a man rare is his purpose. A man who wakes up each day with a direction. A man who invests in himself. A man who moves towards something greater than just winning her back. That's the paradox. When your life becomes bigger than her, that's when she feels drawn back in. When you stop orbiting around her and start orbiting around your mission, she starts orbiting around you. Ask yourself, are you building a life that inspires, or are you waiting for her to inspire you? Are you chasing connection, or are you building such gravity that connection naturally comes your way? Here's the hard truth. If your entire energy is focused on fixing her, pleasing her, convincing her she feels it, and instead of desire, she feels pressure. She feels like your whole world rests on her shoulders. That's not attractive, it's suffocating. But when you focus on you, on your fitness, your work, your craft, your vision, your friendships, suddenly you become light again. Not heavy, not needy, not desperate, and that lightness creates curiosity. That curiosity creates pull. That pull creates desire. And listen carefully, this isn't manipulation. This isn't about pretending to be busy or acting like you don't care. This is about genuinely becoming a man with a life so meaningful that you never need to beg for love, because love given freely is powerful, but love demanded is worthless. So here's the conclusion. The solution to the dead bedroom, the solution to coldness, the solution to losing her respect. It isn't about giving more. It isn't about chasing harder. It isn't about arguing, begging, or proving. It's about detachment, purpose, and self-respect. It's about creating a life where your absence is felt, where your presence is valued, and where your energy commands respect without a word. It's about living so fully that whether she stays or leaves, you remain unshaken. And that is the essence of true power. Not control over her, but control over yourself. Not fear of losing her, but faith in never losing yourself. When you understand this, you'll never beg for desire again. You'll never panic when intimacy fades. You'll never crumble when she tests you. Because you'll know the secret that women don't want to be your world. They want to join your world. So the question isn't, how do I make her want me again? The question is, how do I build a life so magnetic she can't resist wanting to be part of it? Answer that, and you'll never struggle with attraction again.